Tube feeding may seem difficult, especially when you are first getting started. But with a little practice and time, many of you will be able to prepare and deliver your own feedings. For some, this will provide a degree of freedom. Others will find they can pursue an active lifestyle even though they take their meals through a tube.
I've been on feeding tubes for 11 and a half years.
I couldn't eat, and I was emaciated. I really couldn't survive without anything else, so I had the tube put in, and it's been 5 years now.
One of the biggest fears I had when I knew I was going to be on tube feedings was not letting other people know, wanting to hide it.
You're sent home, and you pretty much have to do it on your own. And you have to have somebody, you really have to have somebody just to support you.
There were certain things that I couldn't do when I first got my tube feed. Can't do contact sports, so I couldn't play football. So football season, I picked up golfing. So I golfed all through high school. Different things like that. I did drama club as well all through high school. I ski, I ride a motorcycle, I swim. I love to do all those things.
When I first started, I was very lucky to not be far from where I had the tube put in. The doctor and their staff would just say, come in. And they were very good. They actually taught me a lot, but if I was scared, they would just say, come in and we'll look at it.
Some people may always be tube fed. Others transition from total to partial tube feeding. Some may eventually be able to return to eating, getting all of the nutrition they need by mouth. During eating, food goes into the mouth, down the esophagus, and into the stomach. With tube feeding, formula is delivered directly into the stomach or the small intestine through a feeding tube. The type of feeding tube you received in the hospital was determined by your doctor. The decision was made based upon the function of your GI tract and the length of time tube feeding was likely to be needed. Some feeding tubes are appropriate for a short period of time, typically less than 30 days, others for longer-term tube feeding. A nasogastric or NG tube is inserted through the nose and down into the stomach. This type of tube feeding is typically for short-term use and will not be covered in this program. Please contact your healthcare provider for more information. A nasojejunal or NJ tube is inserted through the nose and down into the jejunum, the second part of the small intestine. A gastrostomy or G tube is placed directly into the stomach through a hole made through the abdominal wall and into the stomach. This hole is called a stoma. G-tubes can be placed surgically or non-surgically. A type of G-tube placed with an endoscope is known as a PEG. A jejunostomy or J-tube is placed directly into the jejunum through a hole made through the abdominal wall or through an existing G-tube. A J-tube placed through a G-tube is called a G-J-tube. We mentioned stoma for tubes that are inserted through the abdominal wall and directly into the stomach or small intestine. The stoma is actually a tunnel which extends from the abdominal wall into the stomach, G-tube, or intestine, J-tube. The stoma can be created surgically or non-surgically. Many younger children use low-profile tubes that lay close to the skin. They're less noticeable and easily hidden under clothes. Low-profile tubes are also more difficult for the child to grab onto. Some low-profile tubes, as well as some standard-length G-tubes, have a balloon on the end. Inflating the balloon prevents the tube from falling out of the stoma. The balloon is filled with water following manufacturer's recommendations. This inflated balloon, along with the skin disc, helps hold the tube in place. Over time, the balloon can begin to lose small amounts of water through evaporation. When that happens, there could be leakage from the stoma site, or the tube could even fall out. You should follow instructions for checking balloon volume provided by the manufacturer of your tube or your healthcare professional. Tube site stoma care should become an important part of your routine. To clean the stoma for G and J tubes, Follow these steps or the instructions from your healthcare provider at least once each day. Wash your hands. Gather the materials you need to clean the tube site: soap, clean cloth, cotton-tipped swabs, and warm water. Clean skin with a clean cloth and soap and water. Start at the tube and work outward in circles. Clean under the skin disc or external hub with a cotton swab, soap, and water. Rinse the site with warm water and dry completely. If your healthcare professional has told you to use a dressing, change it every day or right away if it becomes wet or soiled. The external hub or skin disc should not be tight against your skin. For G-tube only, make sure the tube turns all the way around freely and moves up and down slightly, about 1/4 of an inch. Call your healthcare professional if there are signs of infection or skin problems at the tube insertion site: redness or rash, swelling, pain or soreness, unusual drainage. You might not be able to eat or drink, but good mouth care is still important. Brush your teeth, gums, and tongue with a soft toothbrush and a small amount of toothpaste at least twice a day. Rinse with water as needed to freshen the mouth. If your mouth or lips are dry, ask your healthcare professional to recommend a lip balm or moistener. Call your healthcare professional if you notice bleeding or other mouth problems. Your healthcare professional has selected a feeding tube and a formula that works best for you. Each of us needs certain nutrients: carbohydrates, fat, and protein, all in the right proportions. The formulas available on the market provide enough of these nutrients, as well as vitamins and minerals, to meet your needs. When recommending a formula, your healthcare professional will consider specific nutrient needs as well as your medical condition. Each formula is different. Some are designed for a specific age range or for delivering more calories in less volume. Formulas may contain fiber to support your bowel function. Some formulas are designed to be easily digested if you have a condition causing poor absorption or digestion. Some formulas are designed for specific medical conditions, like diabetes or kidney disease. There are many options to make sure you get the most appropriate feeding. If you are experiencing any discomfort or feel you are not tolerating the feedings, it's important to talk to your healthcare team. Most tube feeding formulas used by adults come ready to feed. They do not have to be mixed with water before use. Ready-to-feed formulas come in cans, reclosable 8 fluid-ounce plastic bottles, 1 liter ready-to-hang containers, or 1.5 liter ready-to-hang containers.